Hello and welcome to today's version of the Keynote Curators live here on LinkedIn. It's Wednesday around the noon hour Eastern time, and that means that your keynote curator, that's right, your personal keynote curator, Seth Deckman, is here to provide you with the latest trends, the current updates of what's going on with all things having to do for meeting professionals with keynote speakers. Today, I want to talk about insurance. It's a sexy topic. It's a cool topic, insurance. But this is one of the most important things that my clients and buyers are aware of because I partner with them in a way that has them covered in case the rare occasion that something goes wrong. And it's not just that a speaker doesn't show up, because that can happen. In 20 years, I've maybe had it happen 3 times. Tragedy strike, there was a death, there was a terrible accident, a speaker was skiing, and then there was a weather situation that was just insurmountable across continents and really couldn't be mitigated. But we're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of speeches, and the percentage is less than 1% where something like that happens. But what about the other areas where you need insurance for your keynote speaker? You have so much on your plate as a meeting professional, as a conference planner, as a meeting planner. There's so much to pay attention to. And this keynote speaker search can become a vortex or a well, which you just get sucked into. And it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time and a lot of creative thinking space. How do you know if a speaker is going to have a tendency to use inappropriate, colorful language, scatological language, curse words? How do you know if a speaker has a tendency to make off-color political remarks? How do you know if a speaker is dated and the information on their website and all over the web really isn't the most current and accurate depiction of what they're doing? How do you know how they're going to be on site? Are they over demanding? Are they gruff? Do they give off a tough impression, albeit when they're on stage, they're good or great? These are all things that you come to your keynote curator for, that I can provide the insurance and be the gatekeeper to avoid any of those situations so that your selection, your choice, and your investment in the keynote speaker is maximized, is optimized. And you can focus on all the other areas of your event that require as much, if not more, attention. You're dealing with security, you're dealing with signage, you're dealing with ground transportation, hotel rooms, food and beverage, cocktail, off-site events, excursions, and anything and everything that comes up. Keynote Curators is here to make sure that the part of your event that is the main stage, the general session, the big keynote speaker, is guaranteed to come off smooth with zero or as little friction as possible. I mean, let's face it, meeting professionals are typically the last ones to go to bed at the event and the first ones up. And they're dealing with everything from sound checks to what time do the doors open, to any last minute requests or changes by an executive or a sponsor in the agenda. So the aspect of the keynote curator being insured is critical. That's why you come to the keynote curators and you use me to sift through and filter through all of that information that is something that might not, or more than likely wouldn't be able to be picked up by somebody doing a search on their own. While the internet is powerful, it can be a double-edged sword. It can be 2 sides of a coin where it provides great information, but you don't see the underbelly of things that people don't necessarily want you to see. There's also the situation of where you have a committee, which I've talked about a lot before. You have a committee where You gather what you want. You're assessing your curated list of keynote recommendations, but somebody comes in and you go down a rabbit hole. They say, okay, I saw this speaker, or what about this big name, or what about this hot book? And it might be the case where you take your committee or your group of decision makers down a road, which is a dead end. And if you knew that that dead end was there in the beginning, you wouldn't have to be bothered with going and wasting the time and energy and even getting excited about the possibility. I mean, before groups and committees even know that somebody's available, they start thinking about how they're going to leverage it, or how they're going to market it, or how they're going to be able to utilize the name or the current book. And lo and behold, there's no availability, or flat out, they're just not doing these types of events at the current moment. And the insurance policy that we provide for your keynote speaker selection is to give you that information up front, to nip it in the bud so that you're focused, the search is narrowed down, and you're using your time efficiently and in an optimal manner. So it's a short message today, but really getting insurance for your keynote speaker and your keynote speaker search process is a critical piece to your selection, so that you can understand upfront why you want to avoid a certain speaker, even though there's a lot of appeal, or why you want to go with a certain speaker when you have interest. I bring a breadth of 20 years of experience to the table, and I can bring that insurance policy to make sure that you get a home run every time. So it's food for thought. Please reach out to us online. Our website, thekeynotecurators.com. You can direct message me on our social platforms. We have our YouTube channel, The Keynote Curators. Look us up. We have a whole vault of resources and clips for you to utilize and leverage in your process, and learning more about how to best utilize and get the best keynote speakers for your events. So I bid you adieu today. We look forward to seeing you the next time we're live. And thank you so much for joining us. I know it's been a great experience for me, and I'm sure you're smarter for it. Thank you. See you next time.